Just to briefly interrupt this video, I'd like to invite you to stay to the end card. I cover some pretty important topics that relate to whether or whether not we're going to be able to continue to run this channel. So back to the main video. I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, it's your turn to do the water crossing.
Actually, you're going to do the water crossing.
I'm not a very good driver.
Learn by doing.
I haven't done it very much.
Just follow me. I'll take you on the... I've already been through it, so it should be no problem. Be courageous.
That's what you said about the stump the other day.
Like a Conestoga wife crossing the Rockies. These are your Rockies.
I think this is easier. I can get out and walk home.
No, it's safe. I've already done it. I'll show you where to go.
Are you any words of advice?
No, I think it's pretty easy.
All right, I'll give it a shot. So, here we go. Amazing how Ginger is on my lap. I was the one who said, let's leave her at home. And I said, she won't be any trouble. We'll take care of her. But she follows me everywhere we go, so. Got my little assistant now. I'm so sure. He said the subsoiler wouldn't hit anything. There's a big... it sounds so bad. Okay. I don't know why this makes me so nervous. It's kind of like when we went to Moab. I knew the Jeep was going to be fine, but I still... makes me squeal a little bit. It sounds so bad in the subsoiler. Made it! Victorious! Oh no! Drone down. Drones are hard on the homestead. Hard on the husband, which makes it hard on the wife.
How was your
my trusty compadre and I did very well.
How was your water crossing?
It was good. It was
not
fine.
such a big deal.
No, I have a question.
Yes.
Didn't I say she was going to be trouble and follow me everywhere I went?
Yeah, she's your dog.
I thought she was your dog.
She's just a baby. Well, I wish she was, but she likes you better. Okay, so I thought we would, well, let me put this on the tripod. So I thought we'd just do our staging area right here for everything.
So, do you remember back in the good old days?
Oh yeah, the Jeep hood?
So for some people this might look like a Jeep hood, but to us...
This was our pre-Yanmar days.
Pre-Yanmar days. So we've got a...
I forgot this was down
so you
here.
can flip this over and you can pull rocks on it. You can use it as a sled.
This was an old hood from a Jeep TJ, and we'll still probably use this today. We used it for a rock sled, so we put a bunch of boulders on it. That's how we built the ramparts for, is that the right word? Or the buttresses for Mrs. W's bridge. And then we used it for skidding logs.
Yeah, it's, you know, you use what you have. But I gotta tell you, it's pretty nice to have a tractor to use.
It looks nice down in the yard though, doesn't it?
It's really nice.
Nice
and
and
really
yellow.
nice. It's kind of shiny and...
Okay, so we're gonna unload everything here. We got two full mission today, which is going to be, we're gonna be planting and then we're gonna start our burn if we have time to it. So we've also gonna be putting the cedars down here in the wet area. I'm gonna take the camera, can you show our wet area here?
Yeah. So we are fortunate to have 2 ponds and we've got creeks that are seasonal. And so this is one of the seasonal creeks and this is, it's very wet. There's my Christmas bridge I got for Christmas one year. And you can see here we've got some cedars planted. That one, we'll see how they look. Sometimes they're kind of reddish now and then that'll get better. But this is what we would call a deer's delight. So they really want to eat it and so we will cage them. So these are some cages from before that we'll reuse this year.
Cedar trees like pumpkin pie to a deer.
That's right, with whipped cream. So this is looking rather pathetic. There's a whole bunch of mullein and thistle, but there is a cedar in there. We need to weed them out, get them going. We've got some cedar over there. It's not a wetlands, but right now it's wet. In the summer it's dry. So let's plant. I have a challenge for the rest of you parents. Does anyone else have the child who is the master of the 5 minute? Just 5 more minutes, please. Can we play just 5 more minutes? You need to do your chores, just 5 more minutes.
The dogs are going crazy. They're after something in there.
They're after springtime.
Do you want the red one, Jack, or would you prefer the big one? Since you're a big kid now. You're not. I'd say Jack's starting to qualify for young man. What'd you say, Jack? Young man or tween? Preteen? Preteen. I ruined all my Wranglerstar shirts with painting in them. So you're doing pines today?
I was going to do a little combination, or do you want me to do every other one, or what do you got?
I think we should mix it up.
Okay.
Nobody likes a monoculture around here. How about you? What are you planting today? Firs?
Whatever I get.
Pines or spruce? You don't care?
I think there's some Dougs there if you want to grab the last of the Dougs. Are we going to start by the wetter area? Because then we can plant the Dougs by the wetter area.
Grab those. Grab these Dougs right here, Jack.
Throwing mud all over me.
Sorry, bud.
So these are the. Jack's got the last of the Dougs there. These are the western red cedars here. Oh, those are really wet.
It's probably good for them. I think you could drop some there, bud.
These are the western red cedars, and we'll put these in the cages here. We'll plant those last.
Pines like the drier area, and the Dougs like where it's wetter. So kind of closer to where it's wetter, we'll put the Dougs, and then the pines can go where it's drier.
Okay, so we're going to get started. This is we're going to be planting on the lower pasture. This is before we were on the northernmost part of the homestead. Now we're on the southernmost. So what we're doing is we have a natural creek and drainage here, and we're going to plant along that. Mrs. W thought it'd be nice that when we're old and in our olden age that we can have a nice stand of trees kind of meandering around the stream, right? Is that what you said?
Yes. I don't know if I put it like that, but
so we're planting larch, ponderosa. This is the first time we planted ponderosa pine and Doug firs. So we're trying to have a mix because a mixed forest is a healthy forest. All right, you ready? All right, let's break ground down here. There's something really satisfying about tilled soil. So as we're planting here, we're kind of running into all sorts of conditions. This area here has got a lot of grass and sod, and if you look down here, we're taking the Pulaski, and we're in those areas we're scraping that sod away, because the grass, if it's growing here, it'll really compete for the nutrients and whatever moisture there is in the summer for the tree. So that is supposed to help them out a little bit. And speaking of Pulaski, so this is the Rogue Pulaski that I think I did a video on this a couple years ago, and I used it on wildland fires last year, and I didn't like it because it was too heavy. It was just, even though it was the same weight as a regular Pulaski, it just seemed to me to be too heavy, and I kept leaving it for other tools. So I've modified it. What I did is I drilled 2 holes in it, here and here, and I took out a bunch of this material right here. It used to go straight across here, so I cut all that out with the plasma torch, and I even took some weight here out of the handle, and now it's just about right. It's really good. If Rogue's watching this, if you guys could produce something like this that has taken out some of the material's gone, makes a big difference. It's just too heavy, but now it's about ideal. So this is what I'm using. This works really good for scraping sod. So I'm going through, and as Mrs. W, before she plants, I could just take here and grub this out in just a couple of hits there. It's just a perfect tool for that. And that's a lot of, I mean, that's pretty thick sod right there. That can really be hard to get, but a tool like this is better, in my opinion, than the regular skinny Pulaski, because it almost acts like a hoe, because it's so much wider, and it's just a great tool for grubbing. And you can chop, so if you get a root, you can flip it over here and you can chop that out, and works great. You
love your Pulaski.
I do.
He does.
Do you know the story of Pulaski? The guy who invented the original one?
Tell me again.
Look it up. It's a long story. We'll talk about it another time.
So lend me your ear for a moment. I'd like to talk a little bit about, I guess, the state of YouTube and the future of not only my channel, but a lot of other channels out there. If you don't know, there has been quite a shakeup on YouTube that has, because of the advertising issues, has really affected YouTube creators' ability to receive income from the work that we produce. And my channel has certainly been no exception. Some channels have even been hit harder. Any channel that's been related, has anything to do with guns, perfect examples is Hickok 45's channel, Nut and Fancy's channel, Iraqi War Veterans channel, and on and on and on have entirely been demonetized. So what does that mean? Well, YouTube has determined that that is not advertiser or family friendly content, and unfortunately our channel has fit into that role somewhat also. YouTube has determined that much of the content that I've produced is not family friendly, and is it fair? No, of course it's not fair, but it's the way it is. So what does that mean for the future of the channel? What does it mean for me and you guys? What it means is it is not going to be possible for me to produce income or produce content as I have with what is going on now with AdSense. It's been really nice. I have always tried to seek outside funding, whether it be AdSense or advertisers like DeWalt or Yanmar, to offset the cost of putting out these videos. And I've never wanted to come to and ask you guys for it, and I don't have any plans to do that. However, what's the solution? How do we keep this thing rolling, and do we want to keep it rolling? This is the funnest thing I've ever done. I still have the same passion for it I did when I started 8 years ago, and I would love to continue doing it. So Mrs. W and I are searching other ways. We have no other option but to try to take on some additional sponsors. And does that mean doing content for them occasionally, or end cards, or I don't know what that means. Does it mean merchandising? Do we ramp up and try to sell T-shirts and paraphernalia from the Wranglerstar channel, or what is it? So I don't know. I'm not sure, but something has to be done, because it's just not it's not possible to run the channel with relying upon AdSense solely. Yeah, I know it's a bummer. It's a sad deal, and we're just fine. I mean, we can go do a million different other things. We have other things going on, and the reason why I run this channel is because of my heart's in it. It's my passion. So just be aware. I don't know what that means, but I'll keep you informed, and hopefully we can bring on a couple of half a dozen or so really good sponsors, companies of integrity, companies that produce products that I really like to work with, that would like to partner with the channel and offset some of the costs of producing this content. And that would be the best way. That way it's not going to affect the upload schedule. It's not going to affect what we do, and it's not going to put any undue burden upon you guys as subscribers. So it's sad, and I mean, we are very fortunate compared to some of the other channels, and it's really a sad thing, you know. When I think about the knowledge and the joy that I've received over the years from channels like Hickok 45 and Nut and Fancy. I mean, if you want to talk about family friendly, I mean, those channels have just been outstanding in that regard. It's something that I could put my 12, 13-year-old son in front of and not have to worry about him doing anything. And that genre has, you know, maybe lost to us, unless they're just people that want to do it out of a passion. But it's certainly not going to be making a career out of it. But will things lighten up? Will these draconian restrictions and censorship, I think that's not too strong of a word, is it going to continue to be this way? I don't know. It's really awful. You know, I was thinking about it. You know, you can say, well, I don't run a gun channel, so it doesn't really affect me, and you know, and no big deal. But it's a scary thing. You know, when I think back on what happens if YouTube all of a sudden decides to say, okay, we can't have any videos on this platform that have anything to do with any sort of preaching, whether it be Christianity or Islam. You know, that is going to be considered hate speech. And it's easy for us to laugh, like, oh, well, that's just crazy. But there's actually pastors that are in Canada that are preaching from the Old Testament that are being charged with hate crimes. And it's starting, and it's only going to get worse. And as soon as they develop, you know, their AI system that they're using, you know, it's going through, Google's talking about completely eliminating keywords. And keywords and titles and subjects are really used to categorize videos. And they're going to have a system that's so sophisticated that they can pick up on the words that you say in videos and categorize you. So my concern is, you know, let's say you want to have a channel like mine and you want to be open about your faith and include that in your videos. Those keywords, if those are considered to be hate speech or objectionable content, it's going to censor your videos. So it's a tough thing. I mean, not for the first time in my life, I'm thinking as I'm making videos and as I'm editing, there are things that I can't say. If I say this word or if I talk about this topic, is it going to blacklist me? Is it going to destroy and bury my channel? And it's troubling. It's troubling. I mean, it really highlights the importance of or how important it is for us to find an alternative. You know, some other place, some other thing we can do it. And I don't know if that's having my own website, hosting my own content there. You know, all of these things, I'm not an expert in this. I'm not really an IT guy. And the thought of trying to figure this out to me is daunting, because I am fully pressed with taking care of my family and the homestead and producing these videos. I have little time for anything else than that. But no. Who wants to hear me complain? So we'll do the best that we can to keep this ball rolling. But just wanted you to know that there's a lot of pressure being put on YouTube creators right now, and we ask that you keep us in your prayers. Maybe I should spell it out. Can I say prayers? Prayers. Is that how I need to address these things in the future? Hope not. All right. We'll see you guys in the next video.